G'day and welcome to the Golfing Greenkeeper podcast. My name is Steve Smith and I'm your host, and haven't I got a dead set perler for you this time. This is another segment of John Deere Golf Keeper of the Greens, and I know you are all incredibly excited about continuing into 2026 with some of these wonderful conversations that I have anywhere in Australia or New Zealand. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And every now and then we'll throw one overseas outside our region into other parts of the planet. But we're going to quickly get into this one because it is so much fun. Now, I mentioned it's John Deere Golf Keeper of the Greens, and I have an incredible partnership with John Deere Golf, as you know, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm here to tell you about who John Deere Golf are. And they're here to help you move your game forward together. And when it comes to supporting the turf industry, John Deere Golf are all in. They're proud to be backing Keeper of the Greens once again as we move through 2026, and I'm incredibly excited about having their support to continue with this segment. It's a wonderful segment, and so many fantastic conversations have been had through this part of the podcast. Your team's passion is what keeps the game alive, and that's why John Deere delivers trusted equipment and support that you can count on. Since 1987, John Deere Golf has been building trust and excellence on golf courses right around the globe. And I'm not sure if you have, but if you haven't, have you heard about John Deere's Operations Center Pro Golf? It's a total game changer. And if you haven't seen it in action or you don't know enough about it, do yourself a favor and ask your local dealer for a demo and see how it can transform your golf course. You can find out where your local dealer is very easily on their website at deere.com.au. That's deere.com.au. And it's very important and very timely that I tell you about the Women in Turf program that John Deere are a proud supporter of, and one that I'm happy to promote as well. And for those of you women out there who are in the turf industry, are you ready to take the next step in your turf career? The Women in Turf Mentorship Program is back for 2026, and it offers a hands-on experience with industry-leading support and the chance to learn from some of the best in the business. Whether you're just starting out or looking to grow your skills, this is your opportunity to build confidence, expand your network, and be part of a community that champions women in the industry. Now, applications close for the Women in Turf program on the 26th of January 2026, so it's less than a week away. So don't wait. Register your interest today and go to the NView website. And NView are also supporters of the Women in Turf program. But for the registrations, you've got to go to the NView website where you can take your place in the next generation of women in turf. Now, go to their website. It's envu.com.au. And then you click on the Turf and Ornamentals tab, and you'll see there's a section there for the Women in Turf program. I'm going to have links in the show notes for this as well. So if you want to do a quick click just to get straight through it, go to the show notes. Women in Turf will be in the show notes. Click on it and go straight to it. So it's incredibly exciting for this Women in Turf program this year in 2026, which is proudly supported by John Deere Golf, ladies and gentlemen, and NView. And I couldn't be more happy than to help support and promote this wonderful mentorship program for women in the turf industry. So get over to the website envu.com.au or click the link in the show notes. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to take up any more of your time for this absolute belter, as I mentioned, for John Deere Golf Keeper of the Greens. This is episode number 166. Ladies and gentlemen, we fire up 2026 with an exciting new segment of John Deere Golf Keeper of the Greens, and I am going across the Tasman to Arai Links for a special conversation with with spray technician and golf course coordinator Anita Mitchell. G'day, Anita. How are you? I got there.
Yeah, you got there. I'm good, thanks, Steve.
Thanks for coming on the pod. Now, I will say early on that you are not a brand newie to this. You have jumped on previously. We met each other for the first time at the Adelaide conference a couple of years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, wasn't it? And you just, I can't even remember. I was just walking past and you
Yeah, I
just
was there
grabbed
doing
me and
some
said,
work and yep.
sit down and talk.
Come down here and talk about stuff. So you're a
Yeah.
female greenkeeper. Let's talk some more. So this is our opportunity. We talked a little bit then, which was great, and we had you on with a bunch of other things on that segment. But this is just about you, Anita. This is all you, right? This is we're going to focus on you and your greenkeeping career.
It'll be quick then.
Yeah. No. It definitely won't be. I'm sure of it. There's more to talk about than people think, and I'm sure yours will be no different. Looking forward to this conversation. Arai, that's a really exciting place to be working, yeah?
Yeah, it's an amazing place to work. I feel incredibly lucky and blessed to have just stumbled my way onto this place. It's heaven on earth, really, if you
Well,
believe in heaven, which I mean I don't really, but if it was, it was Tiara.
well you're there then. Yeah,
Yeah,
you've made your way to it. Now we're going to talk about that. We're going to go through that and hear about your career to date and all the things that you've been going through and how you got there and all that sort of stuff. So we can share these stories, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Tiara as well, and hear some bits and pieces about this fantastic golf course, 2 golf courses in New Zealand that the world is loving. Gets ranked very highly in the top 100s. Doesn't matter what list it is, even if it's from Mars. I'm sure it'll be up the top anyway. It's that good. So, but I do start off with some fun. I like to say that Steve's Super 7 questions. Now, I don't know if you know a lot of these, but I do some sort of short answer questions and things that we go through and see what your thoughts and feelings are about some stuff. So, are you ready for a bit of light-hearted entertainment?
yeah, go for it. Quick fire round.
All right, quick fire. Number 1, tea or coffee? Do you have a hot beverage of choice?
Absolutely coffee.
You shake the head and you go, absolutely coffee. I love it. Are you a particular coffee type? Is it a flat white, a long black? I don't look, there's plenty.
Well, I mean, as you know, the flat white originated in New Zealand, so
No, I don't.
it would be
Educate
remiss
us.
of me. Yeah, well, it's sort of that's entering Pavlova and Russell Crowe territory now.
Well,
but
they're all Kiwi stuff as well.
I used to work for the guy who claimed that he had invented the flat white in New Zealand, so I believe him.
Okay.
So I'm a flat white with coconut milk person.
Flat white with coconut. We've got a variation on it as well, different milk
Yeah.
types, which is becoming a lot more common anyway. And we're not scared to talk about sharing different milk types either. No one's beholden to the true dairy stuff, but that's okay. I like my full fat dairy cream milk and just, yeah, that's okay. But we're going with coconut. That's all good. Number 2, stripes or no stripes on fairways. Hit us with some controversy, Anita, because I happen to do it all the time.
Yeah, I'm a no stripes person. Block cut, that's what we call it, or contour cut all the way.
Yep. So just is that make it a 50-50 colours, or is it just one direction?
50-50.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 50-50, yeah.
Okay, 50-50. Number 3, tee marker setup. What are your thoughts here? And maybe a little bit about what you do, but I'd like to hear your thoughts if it's possible. Do you like to set up the tee markers the full width of a tee cut? Or do you have them a little bit more narrow and then they move around on the tees? What do you think here? What do you feels?
I mean, I think we're a bit different here at Tiara, how we operate.
Tell me more.
Yeah, like we don't have your traditional cut tee blocks, so like other courses. So
you're
we
really
can just
setting the
we're
cat
just
amongst the
loose.
pigeons.
I mean, we just freeball it. Some days I might just walk up and we just have rocks. So some days I might just kick a rock a foot forward or a foot back or whatever, or sometimes you might just put them in a completely new spot. We're unconstrained. We're loose.
I think I need to sit down. That is fantastic. I am going to pull you through here and want to learn more. So you have rocks for tee markers.
Yeah, we have unpainted rocks for forward, painted white rocks for the middle, and the unpainted for the back tees. And that's it. Championship tees, they just go where they want. We don't have tee markers for that. People just play from the backs as far as they can, the tips, and that's it.
How do people not lose their brains at playing Tiara? This is going to just blow people's heads apart that need space, they need rules, they need constraints, and if they don't have them, they'll make their own up, right?
No, I mean we've put tee markers on fairways before. Just
Good Lord,
yeah,
how are people going to survive this podcast?
I'm sorry if I'm like, this is blasphemous for some purists, I'm sure, but it's casual golf, casual coastal golf at its finest.
Wow, that's unbelievable. I did not know that for one, and I don't think I've ever heard that anywhere else. So,
but not only that, is that whoever's setting up the course, like I do, probably 5 good paces between each tee marker, but I've seen guys do 6.
6.
There's no.
6. They could be 5 or 6. They could even be.
Yeah.
They could
even be longer.
Could they be 7 or 8 or even 4?
If the person on the morning feels that way inclined, I guess they could.
Good Lord, what a revelation. We are really throwing caution to the wind here at the Arai, and you get plenty of wind too, I'm sure, on the coast.
Oh, yeah.
That's really interesting, and maybe we'll drill into that a little bit more later on. This is meant to be quick, and it never is, but that's okay. Number 4. That was awesome. Number 4, what is your favourite grass variety?
Well, it's got to be fine fescue. I mean... That's all I know. I've only worked on it. I've played on other types, but I mean, as far as growing, fescue, fine fescue all day long.
Fine fescue is it. Okay, very good answer. Number 5, should bunkers... Oh, look, I think this could... If people have survived question number 3, they may not survive this one. Number 5,
probably not.
Should bunkers be presented perfectly for golf in the same way that we prepare our turf surfaces for golf?
Yeah, you're not going to like this, but we don't have bunker rakes. So yeah, we'll go around in the morning, and on the green side bunkers, we'll rake out footprints. But we try and leave them natural. Yes. We might run a mechanical rake over the bigger areas.
Yes.
Yeah, and then players they have preferred lie. So if they land in a footprint and they don't like it, if they're in the sand, they can pick it up and move it and put it where they want and hit again. No penalty.
We may have officially lost people. They may not be with us anymore.
Yeah, I'm not selling the place to purists, am I?
Well, and strangely enough, in a way, you probably are, I think. And this is the thing that I like about it, and I've never heard any of this stuff. This is the first for me. I really like, and I had this conversation, it wasn't so long ago, with Mike Clayton talking about golf courses doing less to maintain their bunkers. It's up to just do a bit of etiquette and scratch it up with your foot and your club and move on. Right?
Yeah.
Why are we spending so much time raking bunkers so that the next person gets a perfect light? No. You guys don't do it. And if they don't like it, you got a rule there anyway. It just says just move it.
Just move it. Yeah.
It's not going to break the world.
No, exactly.
The Earth's not going to crack in half.
We're here for fun. We want people to have fun and enjoy their day out. We're not.
What a crazy
sticklers for the rules.
What a crazy concept, and that's just outrageous, honestly.
I know.
People that have fun playing golf.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously, what is going on in New Zealand? Number 6, for those of them that are still left, what is your opinion of green speed? Well, just for anyone listening, because this has been done by video, Anita's just really struggling. She's got her head in her hands going, where is this going? You did say yes to joining me. This will be the most fun podcast I think I've ever done already. We've only been on it for 5 minutes. Number 6, what is your opinion of green speeds? Do I need to hold on to something? A duck? I don't know where this is going.
No, I mean, if you've seen, you haven't had the pleasure of coming out to visit me out here, but
no.
I mean, if you've seen photos of our place, our greens are pretty wild.
Lots
11. We don't stimp every day for one, because we're out putting ourselves, or the course setup person, or the superintendent, or the course director's out putting and getting a feel for it. But you probably couldn't run all of our greens at an 11 or a 12. Like optimally 9 to 10. People wouldn't enjoy themselves.
Are you going back to trying to make sure people enjoy their game? So what are you doing there?
I mean, we don't want to make people cry, but the North Course definitely, I think, has brought some grown men to their knees with some of the greens. And we just can't, if we have them too fast, they're unplayable.
So there's lots of movement in the greens?
Mate, the Himalayas has got nothing on our greens.
Wow. That's interesting. That's exciting.
Yeah, they're exciting greens to play. The South Course have got some great greens as well. They're a little less extreme. But yeah, the North Course greens, you don't want them fast.
Will break people. No.
They will break people. There's a couple of round ruiners out there for sure.
But that's part of it as well, I suppose. There's a bit of challenge on top of a bit of fun, right?
Yeah, fun.
That's it. Exactly right. What we want to hear. Number 7, the final one. For those of you still here, we've finally made it to the end. Number 7, which golf course, not your own, and I'm going to make it neither of the two because you've got 2 there, so we'll close that loophole. Which golf course, not your own, would you recommend people visit and why? And this is a bit of paying it forward for people to go and experience something else that you may have experienced, and you go, you know what, I thought that was pretty cool over there, and people should go and check that out as much as they check out ours. So where would you suggest people go to and why?
Yeah, I mean, a favourite for me, and I know it's been a hit for a lot of people that have come through Arai, is Waverley Golf Club.
Okay, tell us more. I don't know that one.
It's just it's down sort of near Whanganui, so on the east coast of the North Island. There's I don't even know if he's full-time greenkeeper. He might just be a part-time, and a bunch of sheep.
Wow.
Yeah, so the sheep take care of the fairways, and he looks after the greens basically and tees, and it's got some of the most amazing. The land is just so natural for golf, and there's some really fun holes to be played out there. The 12th hole, I think, was one of my favorites. Just it's worth that little side adventure if you're ever in New Zealand to play golf. Wow. Waverley has got to be, and it ranks quite highly in the New Zealand top 10 or 20 lists, I think. Higher than you'd expect for a golf course that costs $30 or $40 for a round.
Yeah, right. Now I've just had to Google map it because I like to look at stuff on Google Maps, and I don't even know if this is the right place or not, but it looks like it's on the western side there. Maybe it's the wrong one.
Oh, did I say the east? Yeah, it is the west. Never eat. Yep. Never eat soggy. 43 years old, and I still have to put my hands up for left and rights and never eat soggy Weet-Bix.
You won't be the only person. I'm sure there'll be people listening to this going, "Oh yeah, of course, never eat soggy Weet-Bix. Of course.
Yeah.
Who's eating soggy Weet-Bix?
Yeah.
And getting their east and west wrong."
My apologies. It is the west coast.
So between,
which is so stupid because I grew up not far from there, so I should bloody know.
So it's between. I've got here on a map between Wellington and New Plymouth. Is that on that
Correct.
Coastline there?
That's
is that right?
Yep.
Which is the southwest side-ish.
Yeah.
It looks funky. It's right in the sort of a really cool location.
Yeah, I did a golf trip through Taranaki last March, I think it was. Actually, no, it was the March before with my dad for his birthday. And we played Rangatira, which is another great course. It's like there's an 18 holes, but each six, if you split the course into 3 sixes, you've got the 6 up the top, then there's a 6 down the bottom, it's multiple tiers, and then the 6 down the very bottom, and then you catch a cable car back up. It's amazing. That again was only $40 or something, or $50 for a round, which is really cool. But the next day we went to Waverley, and that just blew my mind.
It looks really cool. These will be in the show notes for people to tag them, for people to go and look at them, because I'll put them all in there so we get an idea of where they are. It looks really interesting, and it's 18 holes. I thought it was going to be 9 when you said it's got sheep on it. 18 holes.
18. Yeah, it's cool. That's a really cool course. Yeah, so definitely worth a check out. But I mean, I think a lot of people know about it now because I'm pretty sure Tom Doak wrote about it in his confidential guide. Right. At one point, and it's sort of it's been a bit of a secret course, but it's getting very popular now. Much
more noticeable now, no doubt, as more and more people talk about it. So there we go. Anita, probably the most entertaining Steve Super 7 questions I've ever done. Thank you for all that bit of fun. And there's lots of things there that people will be able to go and listen to and will even go and look at now. We've got those other ideas of golf courses as well. So thank you for that. Very enjoyable. Now, I would like to please discuss with you at some length your greenkeeping career. Like I said, it was nearly 2.5 years ago, I'm guessing, was Adelaide conference now. We've had Sydney, Melbourne. I think that's right.
Yeah, 2.5.
Two and a bit.
About that.
So if you could, please take us back to how does an Anita Mitchell work her way into getting into greenkeeping. And from what I gathered, it's at a later part of your life. You're not, 20 years old getting into greenkeeping. So
Yeah.
how did you make the leap or change of career choice to get into greenkeeping? And I suppose if from that point on, if you could walk us through to getting to the roles you are today, as you mentioned, spray tech and golf course coordinator, there's a new role in there that you mentioned as well. But I'm curious to walk that path with you, and if you could share it with everyone listening, because I think it's going to be interesting, hopefully, to hear about how you get across into greenkeeping. It's not. We know it's not common, and I say it anytime I talk to a woman on this podcast that's in the industry. Not a normal thing. It's very much against the grain to become a greenkeeper as a female. So, if you could please, Anita, take us back to the beginning. And was it something you'd long strived for from when you were school days?
No,
did you want to be mowing grass?
Absolutely not. No, no, definitely not. I remember mowing my dad's lawn, my parents' lawn for my dad. When I was a kid for $10, and I don't remember getting that much enjoyment out of it, other than getting the cold hard $10 in my hand at the end of the day. But no, it was never something that I wanted to do. I wasn't a golfer. I mean, I played a little bit of golf when I was younger, but I was in IT for 10 years, and then I didn't like that, so I trained as a brewer and became a beer brewer, and did that until COVID hit. And I mentioned it to you when we were in Adelaide. I was at the end of my tether really there, and in a pretty bad mental state, with an alcohol-fueled industry and a couple of less than desirable jobs. I just needed to quit. So I left, I resigned, and COVID hit. I didn't, we knew COVID was around, but I didn't realize it was going to lock the world down as it did. And I had applied for another brewing job. I didn't want to, but I needed a job, right? So I applied for another brewing job, and they said, we can't hire anybody at the moment because we don't know what's going to happen with the economy. Their main export was to China. So obviously they were a bit worried about taking on new staff. So I just found work at a local greenhouse up here in Mangawhai, and sort of I was doing that part-time while I just sort of, I guess, got over brewing and had to figure out what I wanted to do. And then I just happened to see I knew there was a golf course being built, but again, I think my dad had told me, because he's quite heavily involved in golf industry and golf. He is at Parapara Umu Beach Golf Club, so he knew that there was a golf course being built. So I knew there was something going on. Anyway, I'd seen them advertise on Facebook they were looking for people to come out and do remediation, native planting, and a little bit of greenkeeping. No experience necessary.
Okay.
So I got in touch and said, I'm already doing this work in the greenhouse in the mornings. Could I come and do that in the afternoon? And they said, oh, no, we want someone full time. Okay. Well, 6 weeks later, I decided, I'm over working in a greenhouse. I contacted them again and said, is there still jobs going? Like, I'm keen as full time now. And they were like, yep, come out and meet us. And so I did. And, once I got out there, I was like, oh, these guys seem all right. I could work out here for a while and just continue on what am I going to do with my life? Like, no career prospects, kind of just chill, just, But I love living. I loved living up in this town, but I had no idea what I wanted to do. So
it was about turning. So you turned that page. That page was closed. That book was closed.
Yeah, I ended
previously.
That brewing chapter. I wasn't going to brew again.
Yep. So that was done. So
that was done.
About doing
like,
something.
What next?
Yeah. Okay. And not knowing what that was. So this is Arai we're talking about.
Yeah, this is Arai. Yep. At that stage, it was just the South Course. I think when I started, they had hydroseeded the first 9 holes and part of the 18th hole. So, and maybe actually first 11 holes plus the 18th. So I think there were only, what does that leave? 5 holes, 6 holes to go. So they were mowing and still hydroseeding and doing construction stuff at the same time. So yeah, I came in and did planting and learn mowing and I can remember every time I'd get shown a new job to do, I was just so excited. Like, I know it sounds stupid, but trimming heads, oh my God, I still love trimming heads to this day.
Sprinkler heads?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
We just, just grab a bucket and a knife and just walk the fairways. I mean, when you're in a, I guess, I don't want to say PTSD because I was never diagnosed, but when you're recovering from like a traumatic period in your life, a job like that is just gold.
Yep.
Getting on a fairway mower and just cranking the tunes for hours and just like really just processing everything. Well, it was therapeutic and healing. And I mean, looking at the ocean every day it just helped me so much.
Well, it's right on the water's edge, isn't it? You're right on the beach.
Yeah.
Some people struggle in their own space like that.
Absolutely. I think, and I think it's getting worse for the younger generations. I hate to say it, but they just need to be connected all the time. They can't they can't just sit still and be alone with their thoughts.
Yeah, and that's frightening to a lot of people as well. Just in general, a lot of people can't handle that. But that for you was something that just worked. You just loved that being in that because it's a. I don't know how best to describe, especially when you're doing a golf course at construction. There's no one there playing golf, and you're still building it and growing it in and all that. So no doubt, there's even less people than normal, right?
It's so good.
It's the amount of, or sorry, not the amount of, the absolute lack of noise from, doesn't matter what, it's just anything, and just being there with your own thoughts. But it's the rawness of being in Mother Nature. I find with just the sounds of bird life or breaking waves. That's why we have, we have apps that have ocean sounds. And God,
exactly.
I remember as a kid when you get a new alarm clock and it have wave sounds, and you just turn that switch over, right? And you'd listen to the ocean. That's essentially what you're in.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, it was exactly what I needed at the time I needed it.
Yeah. Wow.
And of course there was, I was doing something where I was discovering new things, like a completely new career. So, like I say, trimming heads, I found exciting. Picking poa, I found exciting, like the hunt for poa. We were doing a lot of poa picking, this was on our hands and knees, crawling across greens, picking poa for 4 hours or whatever, like 5 hours or whatever it was. Wow. Everything was handpicked at that point. And to a certain extent, we still do that. We're in a lot more control of it now.
Yeah, sure.
But like anytime I'd be taught a different mower or how to roll or whatever, it was awesome.
Because you're learning. So this is all very engaging as well.
Yeah. And we had excellent superintendent and assistant superintendents help, like leading the way. Like it was just a phenomenal place to learn. I'm so glad I came in when I did in construction, because without the pressure of play around or whatever, I just feel like you had the opportunity to stop and ask and take your time on jobs and really see the benefit of some of the things we do now. I think now that we're open, you kind of, everything's so fast paced and moving so quickly, you miss learning the why. You just know the do, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yep.
We've got to go and mow this.
Yeah, you just got to go and finish a job, get it done and move on. Yeah. Whereas you got to take time to understand how things were going to become what you wanted them to become, I gather.
Yeah, and you had time, there was time for them, the leadership, to really take their time to teach you it. And then I always felt there was no stupid question, even though I really tried to push that.
Really tried to push that. Really tried to push the stupid.
Well, you just always. I don't know. I was just curious, but why? But what if? But what if we did this? Or what if this happened? Or have you tried this? And of course, I've done it all.
Well, you've never done it all. You're always learning. But at the same time, that's probably also asking questions in a way that gets the other side of life thing, because you're coming at it from somewhere so removed.
Yeah.
I remember being a super, and if I had that from somebody that didn't know, and they always say the only stupid question is the one you don't ask. But when you get that question, sometimes you get a random thing out of left field, and you go, I wonder if I could spin that somehow and try something there. Is there anything there that I could try? And you don't know, unless you ask. Really.
Yeah.
Always
it was like you say, a different set of eyes on things. It's an opportunity to learn, right? And I try every time we have someone new start, I give them, if I'm training them, I'll sort of give them the safety overview and the expectations of how we do things. But I don't want to like micromanage them to the point where they're doing it exactly how I want them to do it. I want to give them the minimal information so that then they can find the best way for them to do it. Whether it's course setup, and I could say, well, we're just going to do course setup in this route and that's it, because we don't have a traditional, we don't do our course setup in a traditional 1 to 18 fashion on the North course. South course do, but
right.
So like I might say, well, you could go to the first tee and work your way through the course in order if you wanted to, but have fun with it, play with it, like try and find what's going to be fastest to you. And now I see some of the guys that I've trained, but as they're driving past the tee, they'll just change it. So they might change 6 sets of tees on the way out to the first hole they've got to cut, or they might cut a hole if they think, I've got time before the mowers are off that ground, I might just cut a hole on my way out.
Yep.
And suddenly you've got people that are finishing course setup an hour and a half faster than I have ever done it, because they found a faster way to do it.
They just managed to just work through something that they come back at the end and you go, oh, that was quick. How did that happen? You go, well, I did this.
Definitely have. What didn't you do?
What did you forget?
Yeah, what did you miss? Nothing? Okay, well, teach me how to do it that far.
Yeah. That's interesting in itself. So I don't want to jump too far ahead. So you come in and you were learning the construction site. You're seeing the construction site. Were you participating in any construction, or was it just growing?
Yep. No. I did my fair share of raking sand hydro seed.
Okay.
So like I said, I think we had 6 holes left to do on the south when I got in, and once we'd done all of that, I think the director at the time, CJ Crucier, said, we're going to be starting building the North course soon. If anyone is interested in doing construction again, let me know by the end of today. And we'll see what we can do about moving you guys across. Most of the guys at that point had just been through almost 18 months of construction, whereas I was still quite fresh, and so they didn't want to do it.
Yeah, okay. So they'd done it. They were like, we've done
it's very exhausting. But I was still pretty fresh. I think I'd only done maybe 3 to 4 months worth of the construction side of things, and I loved it, and I wanted to keep doing it. So he said that if the fastest way to accelerate your career is to just do construction, and I thought, okay, well, that sounds good as well. So
were you an apprentice at this time, or this is still
not
just
at this stage? No, I hadn't signed up for my apprenticeship then, but it was shortly after that. So 2 of us went across to the North course and started that team.
Wow.
So we were there from day one, basically, of hydro seeding, which was cool because that's another thing I wanted to do. I wanted to see a project from start to finish.
Yep.
And I thought, well, if I did want to move on, now I've got a core Crenshaw course on my CV, and I'll have a Tom Doak course on my CV.
I mean, let's just go and name drop. You've only been in the career for how long? And you've got 2 of the biggest architecture names under your belt.
Yeah. So It was kind of like, okay, maybe it will be a grind, and I know kind of what to expect. The South course took 18 months to build. Well, we did the North course in 6 months. So the grind was a grind, but it was done. I think it was 6 months. Yeah, it was. I think we sprayed the first turf in like early March, and we'd finished by September. Or at the end of September, perhaps. So it was a very quick construction, which was, good in a way. And
I'm puzzled. Like I don't
I'm not talking about including the shaping. The shaping was they were doing the shaping ahead of us, obviously,
ahead of you.
And all
so
of the
when
irrigation
you come in,
was going in.
Gotcha.
But
So
we were right up their
right on
the
their
whole time.
Yeah. Got it.
And there was little downtime. We had some of the worst weather events we could have asked for during that construction as well. So I think 3 weeks into the start of the North Course, we had, what was it? I think it was about 100 mil of rain fall in the space of 15 minutes or half an hour or something like that.
Wow.
But we'd just started hydroseeding the 11th hole. It was the first hole we were doing. And like I say, 3 weeks in, I think we'd got maybe 3/4 of the way up the fairway. It was a par 5.
Yep.
And this storm hit and washed out bunkers because, it's quite undulating. So we had rivers and lakes on the 11th hole. So and it wasn't the only time. I think we had some of the worst weather in that 6 months that just, really tested us. But to the crew's credit, we did it, and it almost became a bit of a joke that what else can it throw at us? We've had roads ripped out, we've had entire fairways underwater. Surely we've got drainage everywhere we need it now.
Yeah, sure. That's
trees
unreal.
Down, we were the whole site was an old pine forestry block, so pine trees everywhere. They took out what they needed for the course, but big winds, we still get trees down now. So in the early days there were trees down a lot, and it's fun. I love construction. I remember driving around, I think it was the day before we opened on the North Course, and I just remember driving around looking at the turf thinking it's never going to look this good again. I almost wanted to just rub it and kiss it and say goodbye, nice turf. It was awesome. Absolutely zero divots.
No one's touched, no one's played on it yet.
It was pure, pristine, and I'm just never going to look this good again. I was a bit sad.
The byproduct of having to prepare a golf course is for people to play it eventually.
Yeah, I suppose. I guess someone's got to pay for it.
If you have to give up that luxury, I suppose you might as well, right? So I'm curious, it sounds like the construction side, and obviously there's a lot of greenkeeping in it, really got you interested, and you really took a liking to it all from essentially nowhere.
Yeah, I did. Like I say, it was the right job at the right time for me. And I asked enough of the right questions that they decided to put me on the apprenticeship.
Right. Okay.
Which I just finished last year, so that was cool.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. And so I guess they were sick of answering the questions I had, and thought we'll just put her on the course and she can learn it all there. And
she can ask someone else the questions and learn.
Yeah, exactly.
That way she
Make
then
it someone
knows
else's problem.
You can research your own answers.
Yeah. No, the TRI Links is a fantastic place to learn. I can't even think how many apprentices we've got now, but gosh, we must have at least 6 people on the apprenticeship program at the moment at various stages. So if someone shows that they're keen, and I guess shows a good attitude and a bit of willingness to learn, then they're quite happy to put people through.
Were you ever knowing that you'd come from a very different couple of industries there, as you mentioned beforehand, was the idea of tackling an apprenticeship, and I don't know, I assume it's 3 or 4 years like it is here in Australia, I don't know. But is it that similar length of time? But was that ever a concern for you going, this is, I'm going to commit to this, like this is a thing now?
No, because I'd done that in brewing as well. I started from scratch on that career as well. I hadn't been a home brewer. I just left my job in IT, knew I hated it, and I wanted something else. And so I started working on a production line down in Christchurch, loading bottles and whatever, and then just again asking questions, showing interest. And so they put me through certificate of brewing. I think I did 2 of those, so that I could say that I was qualified there as well. So
okay.
And I never at the time I never thought I'd leave the brewing industry.
Sure.
And obviously things change, and but I don't think I ever felt about those jobs that I do about this job.
Okay.
So, I think this is such a great industry, and it can just offer so much for people that, why I don't really feel the need to start worrying about looking around or what's next kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I just wasn't. Yeah, no, I appreciate what you're saying there towards the back end of after having made the decision. Totally. I was just curious at the start of it, you sort of got in there as a fleeting, I suppose, change from what you were doing in the greenhouse stuff. You're like, this is cool, I like this. And then it comes to the seriousness of saying, well, I'm not going to do this for the next 12 months. This is now a thing until I finish 3 years.
Yeah.
Was that ever?
Yeah, I guess I knew. No, I guess I just knew at that stage.
You were comfy. You were done. You were happy to throw yourself into it and be learning it as a career.
Yeah, I mean, what's 3 years at the end of the day? You know what I mean? Like, I think when you're in your 20s, 3 years seems like a lot. But at my age, I was just like, well, what's 3 years? I'll just commit to this for 3 years and see what happens.
See what happens.
Worst case, I get a qualification in this, and I'll go and do something else. But you know what I mean? Like, it's all learning, right?
Yeah.
Never stop learning.
100%.
I mean, I could have another 3 careers here before I pop off. So. Yeah, who knows?
Exactly. So you go through your time. You mentioned it's a really good place to be working, a really good place to be learning there with the Arai team.
Yeah, totally.
Great environment, good group of people, great group of people, I imagine.
Yeah, totally. Great group of people. I think we have close to 40 greenkeepers, or 40 on greenkeeping staff. So it's a big group, and it's a wide range of ages. A lot of locals, a lot of people who don't play golf at all. A lot of keen golfers. Over summer, we'll have 5 or 6 international interns, so they're here at the moment, which is cool, and you learn some fantastic things from the interns that come in. They've come from top golf courses and have had a lot of tournament experience and stuff like that. It's a great place, and they're such supportive employers. Like, I think when you find an employer like Arai, you do what you can to keep them. I've had enough employers in my time.
you know what a one's like.
Yeah, to recognize a good one, and sometimes I just shake my head at the younger guys, and I think, mate, you're complaining, but just mark my words, you will regret this if you don't make the most of this. Like, they're just a cut above, I think.
Yeah, wow, that's pretty awesome to be able to say that about a workplace.
Yeah, it totally is. It's the best place I've worked at in a long time, and I have absolutely zero intentions of leaving. Like, and I just can't. I love the area that we live in. My fiance and I bought a house last year.
Wow.
We're in the mix of doing that up. He works at another golf club locally, so.
Awesome.
This is it. This is us for a while.
That's awesome. That's just hearing you say it that way. It just sounds like you're just so comfortable and you really enjoy the space. And the space
definitely.
being where you work, where you live, the mix of people that are around you, and the way you interact, your employers, all of that, right? It's the lifestyle.
And totally. And they've been really good to me because, I don't want to say I don't get bored easily, but I like to be busy. I thrive on being busy. So I've always just asked for extra work. Like, can I help with this? Can I help with this? So I think it must have been a couple of years ago. Well, it might have been around when I spoke to you last. So I'd just taken the irrigation tech role on at that time on the North course.
Yep.
And that was cool. But I mean, there's not a heap of irrigation stuff to do for a new course, really.
Yeah.
But, we were fine tuning stuff. So putting tails on, nozzling up, fine tuning part circles and stuff like that. But, we don't have the same issues that an older course has with burst pipes and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's all new.
Yeah, it's all new. Saying that, we just had a pump issue today that kept me at work a bit longer. So it does still happen. But anyway.
Nothing's perfect.
Yeah, so I think it was around that time I was like, all right, well, I've got capacity for more. I'll I'll take the uniform ordering off the superintendent at the time of the South Course. He was doing all of the uniform stuff. I said, "Oh, do you want me to take over that?" So I took over all of that stuff, and I think not long after that, I became the health and safety representative because I was like, "Well, still got time on my hands. Like, just keep loading it.
Just give me more. I'm happy to keep taking it."
Yeah, and then that turned into SOPs and
right.
Looking after the SDSs and so all of that I was just doing, not I wouldn't say voluntarily, obviously, because it was just never named as my job. I was the irrigation tech, but I just like to be busy, so I was taking on all this other stuff.
Yep.
And then last year, when our spray tech left, and we are running John Deere sprayers, GPS sprayers, so someone sort of had to start looking after the back end of that, the ops center, and
right.
And like we'd done a lot of the GPS mapping, but some of it needed to be tweaked. But so I sort of started to take that on as well. And then, I think a couple of months ago, I just went to my boss and said, "Look, you haven't found a spray tech yet. Can I do it?" And he was sort of like, "Oh, well, we can talk about it. I'll talk to the superintendents about it." But he's sort of like, "Well, I kind of had this new job in mind for you next year, which was sort of like a golf course coordinator and special projects kind of role, where you would still do your job on the course in the morning, but then in the afternoon you would be sort of helping me with anything that needed any ordering, any the health and safety stuff, and then in the lead up to this APAC tournament that the South Course is hosting later in the year, there'll be a lot of stuff with that. So I'm thinking of this new role that we could put you in."
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh, yep, that sounds interesting, and that's kind of what I've been doing anyway. So yep, we can talk about that." So anyway, what's come out of all of that is now I've got a dual role, which is the spray technician and this golf course coordinator role. So
that's exciting.
I guess it takes the pressure off our leadership crew, I guess, in a way. A lot of the stuff that perhaps the assistants might have been doing, a lot of the office work and stuff that they might have had to do, I kind of do. So that's ordering PPE and uniform and getting all the staff to sign off on induction stuff and things like that, looking after stock levels, or at least notifying the director when stock levels are low so that we can reorder and stuff like that. So it's kind of a new role, but like I say, I always feel like if I'm under capacity, I can get not bored, but I can start thinking maybe this isn't satisfying enough.
It's not. You want to be fully engaged all the time.
Absolutely. And if I'm sitting around twiddling my thumbs or watching the clock go by, watching the clock go by is my nightmare scenario. Like I think that's come from my brewing days, because you can get a lot done in a brewer's minute. You've got 1 minute between that having to be done and this having to be done. What can I do in a minute? And you'd be surprised what you can do in a minute. So that sort of training from being a brewer has really transferred into this, and I'm just like, I can't be idle.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because there's always
it makes for an exhausting end of the week. But
that is also true.
You feel like you've accomplished stuff, right?
But you, and you're doing a lot for the benefit of the property, and like continuing for both courses, the overall property to improve all the time. Yeah, and that those responsibilities, they're not taken lightly either by those that your bosses there, as you mentioned, that say, "Hey, listen, we were thinking about having this for you if you're interested in doing that." I mean, it's a way that you've been able to move through and improve and climb the ladder, if you like, for want of a better way of saying it, through the team, to be part of the leadership, getting up there. I mean, that's where you are by hearing you say those things in the roles that you're taking on, and you've only just not long finished, your apprenticeship. That's amazing to be able be involved in all those things and take those responsibilities on. That's a big credit to you, is what I'm trying to say after all that. All that waffle. I can get there eventually.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, it is a big credit. It is, and it's something that I think, and I've said this before to people that I've had on the pod, and recent as Jock McPherson, I just spoke to in the States, is that sometimes we don't always get the time, or we don't often look at ourselves with a bit of pride and go, you know what? We're doing all right here. This is, I've done pretty well for myself, and be able to step out of your career. You often do it when the hammer falls and you don't have a job. But to be able to do it when you're still in your job, if I see it, I'll call it and say to you, congratulations. And it's a credit to you to be able to get to that point, because that's what, being responsible of all those things means.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I guess, I hadn't put a lot of thought into that, but I guess you're right. I think earlier in my greenkeeping career, I wanted everything done so fast. Like I wanted to be great. I wanted to have graduated. I wanted to be assistant. I wanted to be pushed, like, why wasn't I? And I was getting frustrated because I was like, why aren't I at that next step? Why aren't I at that next step? And I think just slowing down and being like, okay, just things will happen when they're going to happen. And I always thought, well, I'm not a 20-year-old. I'm in my 40s. Things have to happen fast, because who knows what will happen in 10 years or 20 years. I don't have as much time as they do to get myself to the level I want to be. So I kind of felt like I had to really speed things up and force things along. But actually by taking that pressure off myself a couple of years ago, I think I just realized it's not going to work like that, because I'm not happy, and they're probably getting unhappy with me for being too eager and too pushy. So let's just see where it goes and let it happen. And actually, since then, I think grown at work. I've grown as a person as well. Like, I'm not in a rush to do everything. I'm not expecting things to just always happen straight away when I think they should happen. Like, it's going to happen when it will happen. And things, to be honest, things are happening to me now better than I would have thought 2 years ago by just chilling out.
You I suppose you're able to focus on the work side and doing the things and taking on those responsibilities and getting it done and doing it well, rather than focusing on, trying to push the barrow and do those other things. And people are taking note, and they're going, you know what? Yeah, let's get her here. Let's, she can do this, and she's good enough to take that on. And this might go against the grain of some supers or bosses or whatever, I'm not sure. But I think for a lot of supers, in that, what I used to think of as well is that you see people come into their careers and want to push the barrow really hard, and sometimes they end up sort of tripping over along the way because they're worrying about other people and other things, and that affects them. Whereas they get in a groove, and I see you nodding head. You watch people who then sort of take that stress away from themselves, because they're stressing themselves out to try and move forward.
Totally. You just described me.
And
comparison, right? Comparison is the death of all happiness. And I used to compare myself to other people on the team and be like, well, why are they getting that?
Yeah.
Why isn't that happening to me? And as soon as I just was like, whatever, like I'll get mine eventually. Just, what have I got to do today to be the best I can be today? And can I make it 1% better every day? Yeah. That's all you've got to do. Can I do that? Even if it's something as simple as fairway mowing. If I get out on a fairway mower, I'm always thinking, I've just got to do the best job I can do right now. And if I can make a 1% improvement on that, then I've done the best I can, right?
And I think, and I can speak for myself in my role as a superintendent, and the people that I had, be young or old, underneath me that I was training up to be involved in our team, I found that sometimes, like I said, they would trip themselves up by trying to force the envelope or push the envelope to get to that next level of responsibility.
Totally.
As a super, you're watching everyone, or director of courses, different roles, different titles, but all essentially in a similar role of watching and helping people move through the team and grow. But you're always watching everybody, and you see those that do their jobs well, and some people go, I haven't been noticed. Or you are noticed. Like everyone, the boss does know, the leader of the team does know where you're at, what you're doing, and how you're going. and sometimes it doesn't come across the right way when it's a bit forceful. And we all want to, I won't say always. I was a little bit different when I was younger. I was a little bit the other way, but we want to move through. We don't want to be stagnant. We don't want to, be left in a box or kept in a box. We want to try and continue to evolve and grow as people and as a professional as well in our chosen field. And I think by doing it well and talking to your leaders, your team leaders, your supervisors, whatever they are that you discuss your career path with, and letting them know where you want to go, and that helps them also help you grow. Because they go, well, this is what this person wants, and I can see this in them. They need to be a bit better here, but they're really doing well here, and let's give them that. Let's get them over to here and help them pull them up to the next part of their career ladder. And like I said, I go back to, it sounds like you've been doing that well, and those responsibilities are now being afforded to you along the way, and it's you've got your groove. You found your groove.
Yeah, I think that. Definitely the role that I need has found me at the right time. It's now an opportunity for me to really work on, because like the spraying stuff and the administrative side of the coordinator side of the role, I'm pretty comfortable with that. Like I've got that pretty well sorted now. It's been in that sort of that next level of seniority or leadership. Yep. And it's up to me to work on myself and how I react to others, and that was one thing that our outgoing director, who just recently left, said to me, like, I need to work on it's not so much attitude, it's just like how you talk to people and how the vibe, like it has to be consistent when you're at that level. Even if someone pisses you off, you can't let them see it, And he said, and there's been times, he said, when I've had to just walk away and go to a happy place and process it before coming back and talking to the person. He said, you're going to have to learn how to do that, because I think in the past I have been quite reactive to idiots.
We don't suffer fools.
I don't suffer fools well at all, and I need to learn to tolerate them better and try and find a way to lead them without my natural instinct, which
and
is
their
to just
skills in leadership.
It's basically
but their skills in leadership, and this is the other part, and you're well advanced in being someone who's worked for a living. You're not a 20-year-old who's come in stone cold and understanding a landscape. But these are things that, when you come into greenkeeping, we often come in as a young person and we go, I love greenkeeping, I love mowing lawns, still kind of stuff, doing this thing, getting a course set up. But when you move through the ladders and you get to the top where it becomes less of that and more in people management, no one told you when you took on the apprenticeship that was going to happen if you kept going, right? You've been around long enough, you know that those things will come.
Yeah.
But I remember getting involved in greenkeeping, and it's like, I'm doing less greenkeeping as I get further along, and now it's not what I wanted to do. I didn't come here to manage people. I didn't come. I don't want to have a career in managing people. I want to have a career in greenkeeping. But this is what happens in any industry, right?
That's right.
It's an understanding of it. But these are the steps. So, like you said, you've worked out, you've identified, and had those conversations that these are the ways of improving yourself for the next part of becoming better at managing a golf course. This is not better at greenkeeping. This is better at managing a golf course.
That's right, and managing people.
Yeah.
And that's like that. That's the next chapter is that. And I was really honoured and privileged to be included in the Future Turf Managers initiative this year. So,
wow,
that's going to go a long way, I think, to helping me deal with that and give me the tools to be able to work on that myself to be able to be a better leader. So,
and these are things, these opportunities that are, some initiatives are done inside the industry, some outside, different ways, but these opportunities are there for this reason, so that you can then grow in and improve in those other areas that, that aren't necessarily being on the tools on a golf course. It's part of the management and leading teams and that sort of stuff. So it's great to hear that that you're getting involved in those things and you've had an opportunity with. So fantastic to hear. Well done. I say well done again. And that's where I was going before, is that sometimes we don't stop and pause and take a reflection and go, I'm doing all right here. I'm actually going okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I definitely don't do that enough. And I maybe I need to do a gratitude journal or something like that.
I look, hey, I can say I didn't do it. I used to, I walked out of my job. I did this podcast. I was a superintendent, started a new role, got bashed in the head that many times by the membership. I threw the toys out of the cot and walked out.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't understand. I'm trying to do something to improve the golf course every day. I'm working so hard to do it. And the membership, there's a very small portion of the membership that didn't want to have a bar of it. And I couldn't wrap my head around it. And that was it. I was done. And then Dad knocked a bit of sense into me and said, hey, don't be an idiot and calm down. Let's go and have a chat to who we need to talk to about the situation, and everyone can, put cool heads together and come up with a solution to move forward, because it's probably not how you think it is.
Yeah.
It's just how you feel at the time. But we need to pause, I think, sometimes and take stock of where we are and how we're going, and I think that's a good thing from time to time. We don't do it enough.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Yeah, just have a moment, just take a beat. And same with dealing with people, don't react instantly. Just sit on it and process it and come back to it with a clear head.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Absolutely.
So you've got these extra responsibilities now. This is a recent thing. How long have you been spray tech?
I mean, officially a week, but unofficially I've been doing it for the North course. Oh, well, since our last spray tech left, probably almost a year ago. I think he left, or not, at least 9 months ago.
Right.
So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I was 100% spray tech at that point, but definitely doing a lot of the functions of a spray tech for the North course.
Yep.
So, and like I said, there's a lot of similarities with brewing and spraying and crossover. Like it wasn't an uncomfortable area for me, and I feel very comfortable in that realm. So yeah, it's been cool. And now that it's 100% my focus, or 75% my focus and 25 to the other role, it's good. Hopefully I can find ways to make little improvements, because it's kind of hard. It is kind of hard to make improvements on the spray tech side, because we've got something to spray, we spray it, we know how many hectares we're spraying. Like,
sure,
the amount of losses that I can recover or minimize is we've already sort of got that dialed in. So it's kind of like, right, where do I make those gains?
I'm just throwing it out there and shooting the breeze here, and I don't know, but I imagine, I just cast my head back to my shed. We didn't have definitions of a spray tank. We actually didn't even have a spray tank. There you go. Used to use 30 sprays in buckets and lots of water. It was hell. But I imagine that you could probably do that sort of stuff at the back end, with the paperwork side of things and keeping all your not knowing how your shed is, but all the arrangements and organisation of machinery, keeping it clean and being efficient at the back end of those sorts of things would make a difference. Because like you said, being out there doing the spraying itself is probably pretty close to being pretty tidy.
Definitely. Yeah.
But it's the other
stuff.
You're
definitely right there.
People, lots of people will go, hey, I've been there, I've seen it, I've managed it, and I've done it when I was a kid. You go out and you think that mowing fairways is just sitting on the fairway mower and mowing it. But you've forgotten about how you got to do all your pre-start checks, and you've forgotten about how when you finish, you got to make sure that it's clean, and then all the blades are tightened up, and everything for ready to next go. It's fueled up, it's all checked. It's so that when you start that job next time, you jump on the machine and you're essentially good to go. Because if none of that's done, then you have to bumble around and fumble around, and that takes the extra 20 minutes, half an hour, and all of a sudden, all that efficiency, that's where it turns into a debacle and a bit of a mess and time wasting.
For sure.
So
yeah, and I think you're right. And it's something that I have loved in every job that I've done is efficiency, making things more efficient, taking an old system or an established system and looking at it from a new fresh set of eyes and just being like, well, how can we improve this? Are there any ways we can improve it?
Yep. And
so that's going to be my next goal, really, is to try and find those little gains. And it might just be a little gain here and there, but overall it'll be a bigger gain, hopefully. So
yeah, absolutely, 100%. Well, congratulations on everything you've got to getting to where you are in your, let's call it a short career. Not that it's been uneventful, but it's a wonderful short career to date. Congratulations on getting to completing your apprenticeship officially and getting on these new responsibilities and roles as we turn the page into 2026, which is really exciting, Anita. I wonder, talking to you just now and hearing you talk about everything that Arai is, did you know when you started, not coming from in the golf space, did you know how special Arai was heading to be pretty quickly? And do you, you mentioned you play golf a little bit and that sort of stuff. I don't know how much you were into the golf space and knowing about it. But over here, I'm into all that stuff, right? So I see Tom Doak's doing a golf course, Core Crenshaw are doing one next door and it's going to be here and it's built here and they're doing it this way and this is their past work. And I'm looking into all that shit, right? So I'm all over it and I'm going, this looks like it's going to be pretty amazing. Yeah. But you've come from a very different side. Looking back now, being qualified and you've been there for a few years and where its status is already, did you know that was coming? And what's it like now that you're in the thick of it? And it is a pretty special part of the world in golf. And I mean the world, not just New Zealand. It's a special part of the world.
Yeah. I don't think I did appreciate it. I knew it. Like, they'd said to the guy, my superintendent and the director at the time said this, the goals of this is to be a top 100 course. And I didn't, I just took that to be, okay, cool. But I think as I've got
sounds good, guys.
Whatever. Like,
pat on the back.
Whatever. Yeah. But I am into golf now. I play a lot of golf, and golf history is interesting to me and everything. And now I really appreciate what a top 100 rating means. We're up against some amazing courses, and to have our two little courses down this far corner of the world in the top 100, I'm not sure some of our crew quite appreciate it. I would even go as far as to say that some might have been a bit disappointed with the North Course's rating recently. I think we were 98 or something, and I was just like, oh my God, that's amazing. But the South Course was 80 something, and it's like, yeah, but they're both amazing.
Both.
Like,
you got two up there, right? It's twin courses. You just
don't look. If you knew what the other courses were like and the history of some of these courses, like it's unreal.
Yeah, they've got a long time to get it right. You guys have just done it off the bat. Now you've got to hold it there and improve. And to start there it's just astonishing, really.
Yeah. I didn't realize it at the start. I think I was just like, we're in top 100, whatever. But now I definitely fully appreciate what that means, and that is something that we have to uphold every day, because people are going to come to our course expecting a top 100 course.
It's a bit of a deal, right?
Yeah, so we have to present a top 100 course every single day.
And not being rude about it, it's not $5 to play there. So they're making the effort to travel around the world for some instances, and they're paying a few bucks to play there and stay there and take it all in. And if they get the service and what they expect in the clubhouse, then when they walk out of the course, they want the whole package. Like it's, you're all working together to deliver a product that says Arai stamped all over it.
That's right.
It's pretty special.
It is special, and what I think I love the most is, and I this goes back to the bunkers and stuff, is that it's casual golf, right? And I'm not saying that our greenkeeping staff are casual in their approach to work.
Sure.
But we don't go out specifically thinking we have to do this to be a top 100 course. We just go out and do our job.
Yeah. Yep.
And that doing just our job, which everyone does really, really well, but the whole the leadership and the setup and the training that gets everyone out on that course doing that job, and it's the normal thing we do, is amazing, because we can be that level of golf course with, I don't want to say no effort, but it's natural effort. It's not forced.
It's a normal day of work.
That's how exactly. And we do have membership, and we have club champs and stuff like that, and we don't really have to do much more we present the course to that standard every day. We might touch up a few other areas of sand that we don't do every day for, say, a club champs or whatever. But every day you come out and play Arai, it is the best version of it.
Yep. I remember recently, at the end of last year, I chatted with John Spraggs, course manager of Royal Wellington, and I asked him a question, and I said, you're preparing for this amateur tournament. I can't remember if it's APAC or not. I can't remember.
It's the ladies APAC. I'm actually volunteering at it, so that'll be cool.
There you go. So, but I asked him a question. I said, so you got the course, doing what you do. What are you doing to prepare for the tournament? And he's just like, we don't need to do anything. Every day is at tournament spec. Like every day is the best it could possibly be. Yep. And I was like, whoa, for me, that's a different way of life. I didn't do that. I couldn't do that. But at the courses where you're at Arai, where John is at Royal Wellington, and there's plenty of those courses at the top echelon, they're there for a reason, because every day, like you said, normal greenkeeping practices and normal standards are the top. That's what other people look at. They come and they go, wow, check this place out. And you're like, well, this is normal. This is what we do here. This is our job. Yeah, it's not anything special. You might think it's special, but for us, this is our minimum standard. This is what we do every day.
Yeah, exactly. And that's cool. That's so special to be a part of a crew that doesn't. I don't know. Like, a lot of them haven't worked, like myself. I haven't worked at other golf courses, but I think I've been to enough golf courses. I've talked to enough supers and greenkeepers to sort of know what goes on and know how special we are. But a lot of them that are not into golf or whatever, they just turn up and do their job and go home, and they just don't realise how good a job they do.
Yep, 100%. It's really interesting. I just wanted to ask that question of whether you knew that was going to be there or when you started, because it's a pretty special place to be working. There's no two ways about that at all. From where I sit, it sounds like a bloody amazing part of the world. I'm curious, knowing your, I'm going to call it passion for greenkeeping, because you just talk about it as if it's the best thing you could do every day of your working life. Is there any one thing, or maybe a couple of things, and let's take away trimming around sprinkler heads, that you really enjoy about greenkeeping? That really, do you have something you go, I just like this? It's either this job, maybe it is trimming around sprinkler heads, or is it a time of year? For me, it was a time of year.
I mean, time of year out here, March is fantastic. It's starting to cool down a bit, and it's such a turbulent time for us at this time of year with the weather. December through February in New Zealand is so variable, whereas March it settles down. So yeah, March is cool. But my favourite job, and I miss it so much from construction, is just walk mowing fairways.
Whoa, hang on, walk mowing fairways?
Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah. I mean,
wow.
Like, you want to just zone out for 5 hours, it's the best. It's so good. I love walk mowing greens. And for the majority of the time we will walk mow greens at Arai.
Yep.
I don't get to do it as much anymore, but when I get to do it, I bloody love it. But I do, I really miss walk mowing fairways. It was so cool. And I tell you what, trying to get a straight line across a fairway, that was a fun challenge.
That would be unbelievable. That'd be hard work.
Yeah, one day I think I walked about 26 Ks, and I didn't even do a whole fairway. Like, that was, it was like 10-4 direction or something. And I think I only got 3/4 of the way up the fairway, and I did it all day, stopped for lunch, went back and did it. And I think I did like 27 Ks.
Wow.
And still didn't do the whole fairway.
That is unreal.
We don't have your traditional rough like other courses as well. So, we're pretty much edge to edge fairway.
And then what? It's just.
And back in construction, we were edge to edge fairway. And since the grass grew in, then we start to bring the rough in certain places. But at that point, when we were mowing fairways, it was basically you walk from one side of the hydro seed to the other side and back. And
literally mowing all the grass with the walk behind.
Yep.
Like all the grass, it's just all of it's cut.
All of the grass. Yep. And
wow.
You weren't even, at that point, there was no surrounds the greens were set out. So you're stepping it down. You're bringing it from, I think 12 mil was our first height cut perhaps. And then maybe it was 15 for the fairways. I can't remember, but then you'd go 12. And then in the surrounds, you'd start bringing them down mils every couple of weeks or whatever. And the greens would go lower. So those areas would start to come alive, but at the start it was just 12 mil.
That's wild. That is wild. The thought of that is just staggering.
It really takes all of my willpower to not say to the guys, back in my day, they complain about greens mowing and they've got to mow like 4 or 5 greens, and I'm like, back in my day, I used to mow the fairways.
Back in my day in 2023.
Yeah, I know. They don't know that though. They just see an old woman that's been there for ages because they've only been there for a little bit. Anyone who's been there, that age, anyone who's old, like 10 years older than you is really old, and then anyone who was there when you got there has probably been there for their whole life. So they don't know.
That is fantastic. I love it. That's gold. I'm going to ask you, before we go any further, can you tell us who your course super is? Who's your team leader?
In my new role, I report directly into our course director, who's Daniel Morton, and he's just taken on that role after Brian Palmer left.
Okay.
To go and work at Cypress Point.
Everyone knew about Brian Palmer. Yep.
Yeah, so Dan, man, what a success story Dan is. He's, I don't know, I did tell him this when he got the job. He's an inspiration to me because he started at Tara Edie. He's been in perhaps the industry 10 years and only worked at Tara Edie and Arai and worked his way up to director. And, wow. I would love to have that same career trajectory as Dan, but I mean, his timeline's unreal.
That's incredible.
And he's an amazing guy to work for, and so he oversees the 2 courses.
Okay, and then, so he oversees the property. Yep.
Yeah, so then we've got Nick O'Brien, who's the superintendent of the North course, and Mitchell Northen, who's the superintendent of the South. And Mitch is sort of following the same path as Dan. He came from Tara Edie, spray tech assistant, super. So these guys are inspiring to me, and it really gives me great confidence in my employer because they are willing to hire and promote from within.
Yep.
We don't need to look and get big names from around the industry. We're dealing with a cold season grass in a warm climate. So the knowledge that I'm learning here and that they've learned, it's not going to be easy for us to apply that to other courses if we were to leave, right? And then it's also likewise, it's not easy for someone to come into this environment where we're growing fine fescue in a climate that's not suited to. So they obviously they value that knowledge and they value that experience to the point where they will hire from and promote from within. And like I say, you don't want to fall into the trap of comparing your journey with someone else. But man, if I could follow those guys, even if my timeline's a bit more extended out, then I'd be happy as.
That's unreal. Yeah, they're great stories and like you say, inspirational as well.
Yeah, totally.
For people that are in the team that are coming up through the ranks exactly like yourself. And thank you for mentioning it. It's always good to know who's leading the team and where you could potentially move through as well, which is fantastic. A bit on the personal side of things in regards to the golf course. Mm-hmm. Do you have a favourite location on the golf course that maybe some people don't know about? Maybe they get out there and they have a chance to come and visit and play golf and they take it all in and they're like wowed, for every moment they're there, but they don't get to see everything. You get to see, it all, backwards, upside down and inside out in your sleep. So is there anywhere that's just really special? Or maybe there isn't. Maybe the whole thing is just that good.
No, I think for me the most special part of the golf course is on the south course. The 4th hole starts off at a really high point. You can see the ocean right out. It's amazing. And then you drop down, and then the 5th hole is a short par 3. The green, it's spectacular, but I think a lot of people would get blown away by the turf. But over the back of the fifth green is this estuary that runs along the side and out, and you can see it from on the fourth tee. But I don't think many people probably do see it because they're just blown away by looking down the hole, looking at the turf, looking how wide the fairways are, and there's islands out there, whatever. But that little estuary that comes out, I wanted to get married down there. That's how much I love that area. But I mean, getting 55 guests down on the fifth hole's probably not going to work.
Logistically,
a dawn wedding,
a logistical challenge, no doubt.
But I mean that was the first day that I started at Arai. That was where I ended up working that afternoon with my good buddy Leroy, who still works at the course as well. We ended up planting a whole lot of native grasses down there that afternoon, and I think that was when I just felt at home with the place, and like this was going to be something special.
Yeah, wow, that's unreal. What a great spot. Good to share. Yeah. Thank you. So people can now look at the estuary when they're playing, and they'll go, that's what's over there. Now I've got it.
It's gorgeous. It's just so gorgeous. But I hate to say it because the best time on the golf course. It's before the players get there, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And I hate to say it because I don't want to rub it in, but sunrise at Arai Links is unlike anything else, And often a lot of us will just joke, we get the best of this. It's a shame that the players can't see it, but we're glad they're not here.
We'll keep it to ourselves. Don't pollute our perfect time of the morning. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, it's I'm sure. I think there's a thing with East Coast, like we've got it here on the East Coast. Like having a sunrise over the ocean is special, and there's different uniquenesses in individual sites on top of that again. But I think having a sunrise over the ocean is just magnificent. I just love being there and seeing it anyway, which is special. I've got to ask you a question, Anita. I'm curious, getting into greenkeeping, and you've thankfully stepped us through where you came from, obviously. What was it like for your family and friends when you told them you were going to be greenkeeping? Did they... Because I go back to it, and it's no point hiding it. You're a female coming into a very male-dominated industry, and most people would never consider a female greenkeeper. Thankfully, we're now seeing more and more, and through other initiatives, and the Women in Turf program, which we have in Australia and New Zealand, is one of those. Yeah. But what do your friends and family think? If anything, were they surprised? Were they, did they go, maybe you should rethink your thoughts there? What happened there?
I don't know what they thought, to be honest.
They never told you. They kept it to themselves.
Well, I've always worked in male-dominated industries, and I worked in IT.
Good point.
And then I was a female in the brewing industry, which at the time was not that common. They probably just thought, oh, here we go. What's this she's doing now? My dad was absolutely stoked. I can remember that, but he's a golfer. So, there was lots of questions I had to answer. And I'll be honest, there still is. He always likes to know what's going on. So, I don't know. No, they probably just thought, oh, here we go again. Something new. Try this.
There you go. And I suppose the difference is that you're well into, a working life. So you bounce around different things. When younger women get into it, it's probably very different for a lot of people to look at them and go, you got all sorts of different options and you're picking that.
I don't know. You know what? We've got 5 girls on staff right now.
Do you really?
Yep.
Wow, that's unreal.
And we've always had, I was the first, and then we hired Holly, I think, about 6 or 8 months after me. And then, so she's still there.
Yeah,
she's been there for, she must be at 4 years or coming up 4 years now. And then we've had a few come and go in that time, but we've got, I'm pretty sure it's 5 now. Yeah, there's 2 on the north course and 3 on the south, I think. Yeah. So we've, after that initial period of me being alone, being the sole female, I've never felt like women don't belong in this industry, or that this is a male dominated industry, because I've always been surrounded by women at work.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
I imagine it makes them feel also more comfortable knowing that they've got someone, a more elder statesperson in yourself.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've never asked and they've never said, but I mean I don't think they would have ever thought they would be greenkeeping, and they love it. Absolutely love it. And two of them are on it, doing their apprenticeship now.
Yeah, right. So
I think
they're in.
This will be their second year. Yes, 2 out of 3 years. So it's cool to see them becoming passionate about it.
Yeah.
Because I think when they started, it was a job.
Yeah, sure.
And now the passion is coming through and their desire to learn more. And so yeah, they got rewarded with that curiosity with an apprenticeship.
Asking lots of questions.
Asking all the wrong
all
questions.
the wrong questions.
Yeah. So yeah, it's cool. It's and I'm so glad that they're doing their apprenticeship. It's awesome. I think the industry needs more qualified women. Like I said, it's never been a problem for us, but it's cool. And I see it. I can see how happy they are there, and it makes them happy. And like going back to what my friends and family thought, I'd say that they would have noticed how happy I am at my job, and how much I love it. And I think that just comes through. And not, even when I leave work, I'm a happier person. I'm a better person. It was greenkeeping was a catalyst for me stopping drinking as well. So, and I haven't had a drink for 3 years now.
Yeah, right.
And I think when I saw you in Adelaide, I was only 6 months into that journey.
I think it was early on. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
because you only just got into greenkeeping not long before.
I was 2 years at that point. Yeah. But yeah, it was my boss at the time, the director CJ, who he doesn't drink, and just constant chatting with him.
Yep.
That was one of the catalysts for me stopping drinking, and so yeah, it's all greenkeeping has changed my life in so many positive ways, and working at Arai has changed my life in so many positive ways that it's something I really treasure and appreciate, and I don't want it to end anytime soon.
That's unreal, hearing you talk about it with such passion and all those things that have been life-changing parts of that career change. That it's not just a different job. My little ones are screaming in the background if anyone can hear. It's not just changing of a job and doing something else. It's totally changed what becomes your outlook on life as well, and the way you move through life.
Yeah, I mean, how many hours do you spend of your life at work? It's got to be a good fit, right? And like I say, this was just the right job at the right time. I just didn't. It's taken me a while to appreciate how good that is.
I'm watching you explain it to me. I'm watching you smile when you hit the good parts, and I see you smile talking about the other women in the team, which was really nice as well. So it all means a lot to you, let alone to what people are going to hear and what they're going to be thinking when they hear this conversation, which I know, thankfully, I get a lot of great feedback from people that listen to the podcast, and these are inspirational stories. That's why I pick the people that I pick to interview and not tap on the door, because you are an inspirational person to other women, and you don't know that yet. And I know that this hasn't even come out yet, but I know that people look at your story, they'll listen to your story, they'll hear these, they'll connect, they'll relate, and they'll go, you know what? That sounds like something amazing, or I would love to get to that point in my career as well. So I think, and I'm not calling it early, because like I said, watching you, and there's the benefit of doing it in a video, but no one else is going to see it, just us. But watching you smile when you talk about all those things, I got a lot out of greenkeeping through my whole career, even though I don't do it anymore, and I now get a buzz out of doing this and staying connected. But it gave me so much in my life through that time of my life. And I'm seeing other people get that in different parts of their lives. And I just love seeing that as well and talking about it too, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's cool.
With that in mind, is there anything lots of females would probably never consider greenkeeping? Lots of young girls finishing school and looking to start a career. Others that are looking to change a career path and potentially doing something like what you did, just going, I'm going from that, now I'm over here. This is maybe what I should be doing. Is there anything that you might, suggest to them? What would you say to someone who's thinking about it, a female that's thinking about whether they should consider greenkeeping?
Oh man, just give it a go. Like, what have you got to lose? And surround yourself with the right people. If you're interested in greenkeeping and you land yourself a job where it's not a good fit for you, just don't give up. Just go to another place and get into a good crew. A good crew makes everything, and there's so much to be gained from greenkeeping. I mean, it's definitely not just for the boys, but I also like, it was something I never consider. So I also appreciate that you can't be what you don't see. And I just think that there's been a really positive push in the industry to get more women faces out there, and I think that'll go a long way. And these young girls coming through, they just need to give it a go. They can be equal with the guys. Like, there's nothing that a guy can do that I can't do. And like, we might have to adjust how we work some things. Like, I definitely struggle to get a 50-meter hose back on the cart compared to the guys. I see them just flick it up and it's like nothing. And I'm like struggling, but I can still do it. I learned to be efficient in other ways. So,
and there's lots of different things, and you know what, you're quite right, but I'll take the gender out of that because I've seen it. You get a young 16-year-old boy who's starting an apprenticeship, they can't do it either. There's no difference there in that. And I was that too. That's the other reason that I know what it's like, because I was that kid who, wasn't as big as the blokes that were running around that were 35 years old and, looked like a brick shit house, but, lugging stuff around. There isn't that. And in a modern world, we don't have it anyway. So anyone who says that there are those limitations, I call bullshit on, because it doesn't exist anymore.
No, it doesn't exist. No, just get out here. Just come work at Arai.
And love it. Look at how much Anita loves it. You can't love it any more than that, I'm sure. There's a challenge I'll throw down if you can.
Yeah.
Where would you, and maybe we've touched on, maybe we haven't, where would you like to see yourself take greenkeeping? Have you ever had time to think of that?
Do you mean in my career?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to shoot for the moon, right? So what is it? Shoot for the stars and land on the moon? I can't remember, whatever.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't really follow those kinds of sayings. I'll just see it as a tattoo or something and think, oh, God.
It will be a tattoo somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah, no regrets. That's what I want. I want to get a tattoo that says no regrets.
Very good.
Well, I mean, I would like to be running a golf course. I would like to. Yeah, I want to get into management. I want to. It's not about being the manager. It's something that I've when we've done that, we've done the careers sort of section of the leadership program I'm on, and it was kind of like finding out what you like to do, and for me it's not so much the cutting grass or being a manager. I just want to help people be the best they can, whether that's providing a service or a tool or whatever. Like, I don't know what that looks like yet, and I'm still trying to work it out. But I think I can be my best when I'm helping other people be their best.
Yep.
And like I said, I don't know what that looks like yet,
sure.
and it's something that perhaps another role will be created for me down the road. But yeah, that's what I get enjoyment out of, and it's it's as simple as making sure someone has the right size shoes, someone has the right chemicals to put in the sprayer, someone has, I don't know, like the list goes on and on.
Yep, sure.
And at some point I would like to develop my skills to be able to help people on their mental side of their life as well. And
that's big in our industry.
Yeah, and maybe that takes me down like a business psychology sort of path next or whatever, or training. That's kind of where I see myself as helping others, helping people do the best they can.
Yeah, okay. I was just curious to know whether you'd had time to take the time to look at that and see where you might have wanted to take your career. And
I mean, obviously I'd like to be assistant next and then superintendent after that. So I just want to get myself into a really good position to be able to do that well.
Yep.
I have struggled in the past with imposter syndrome, coming into a bigger, when I left the first brewery I was working at and went into a bigger one, really struggled because I had what I think was imposter syndrome and just shut down because I didn't feel like I belonged there. I didn't feel like I could do the job, and I don't want to do that again. So now I'm like, let's take my time, build up my skills so that when I get to that position, and this is also a real female thing to do, because males, I think there's been studies to show that a male will apply for a job if he knows 1% of it, but a female has to know 100% of it before she will apply.
Well, you might as well throw me in the female category because that's how I view it anyway.
Yeah. So guys will talk up their abilities and be like, yeah, I can do that. Whereas a woman's got to know she can. So I'm at the stage where I want to have the confidence in myself to be able to be in that role.
It's funny,
but there's no rush.
Yeah. It's well, at least you like I said, you've got an idea of what you like to get out of things and day to day as well, and how you like to help people and that side of stuff. So you might not know exactly, as you said, what it is, but apart from also the other side of becoming an assistant and super and that sort of stuff, there's other things as well that you certainly get a buzz out of doing that you know you do.
Yeah, and I think like, I didn't expect to be a greenkeeper. My path has been all over the place, and I'm quite happy with that because I've learned a lot of different things along the way. And going forward, it's just a matter of saying yes to things, right?
Yeah.
And that's one thing we learned recently is just say yes to things. So if an opportunity presents itself, I might, I'll say yes to it. If something, I don't, like, you've just got to go with the flow of the river. Don't try and fight it.
If it's in the direction of all the things that you stand for as well, and that you're interested in and all that sort of stuff, say yes. Keep saying yes and keep moving forward. It's some opportunities, bigger opportunities you don't know what's there may present itself, and you'll be like,
exactly. You don't know what you don't know.
Correct. Funny that. It's a very, very 100% correct thing to say. But you may end up with something that you go, this is where I'm meant to be. Like in a way yours was as well at the time of becoming a greenkeeper.
The universe will deliver.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Maybe I'll get that tattooed.
Is it going to include a spelling mistake?
Yeah, it'll be right underneath no regrets.
Now, you mentioned you play golf. Is that a prerequisite for being a greenkeeper?
No, I don't think so. I think it helps. But I think you need to have a basic understanding of what order the holes are played in. Yeah. I mean, you're probably not going to get a job like course setup if you don't play golf. You've got to have an understanding of the game, I think, for certain jobs. Yeah, but I think you can be a great greenkeeper without playing the golf. But, I mean, could you be a good chef without tasting your food?
Going to go with no.
No, I don't think so. I think you've got to.
I agree. I think
get out there and taste your turf.
I think maybe. I mean, I love my South African cooch, and I have been known to roll on it in the past after mowing it when I was younger and as first year apprentice. I think like you said, a basic understanding of golf isn't going to hurt, and I think it helps. It helps a lot. I think to have no idea of golf, I don't think that quite works once you get moving forward. But I think once you get started anyway, you'll probably you'll start to play the game anyway, I imagine.
Yeah, well, I did. I mean, I was at Tiara for 6 months and thought I'd pick up some golf clubs, and God, life's been hard since then. It is not an easy game.
No, but it does lock you in.
Yeah.
Once you're in, you're in. That's it. You'll never give it away.
I know.
You'll keep coming back for more punishment.
And spending money. It's just it's endless.
It does happen. And that is, I've just not bought anything and now it's starting to show. My golf bag's falling apart. Probably need a couple of new clubs. No. It's, look, like you say, whether you're a golfer or not, I was just curious to know do you think it's helped you?
I mean, I've always loved sport and I've always watched golf, so I don't think I needed to play to have a good understanding of golf. I had played a little bit when I was younger, but look, we've got some great greenkeepers out at Tiara who don't play golf at all.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you could be super, but what about if somebody was like super sciencey and just so into turf science but not golf at all?
Mental,
That's, could be a good thing as well.
Full mental agronomy brain.
Yeah, but I think those people typically play golf.
Or they just go and become full-blown scientists in the turf space.
Yeah.
I think nearly.
Yeah.
Who knows? Look, it's not a prerequisite. I was just curious to see whether it helped your career at all. Or it helped your understanding, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, I can't tell you. I don't know. Probably. I like that I can go out and play a surface that I've prepared. I'll say that is something special. And I definitely like going. If I didn't play golf, I wouldn't go to other courses and look at their turf. So, playing golf, I get to go around.
Okay.
I've played at a great course in the Bay of Plenty over the weekend. And had I not been a golfer, I never would have gone and seen this really special place. And, seeing the turf. And I wouldn't have I just wouldn't have looked at the turf in the same way
you
as
wouldn't
I
have been
do.
curious. Yeah. Yep. Sure.
Yeah. So I think it's helped.
Any final comments and thoughts about your career in greenkeeping, where you work, the industry more broadly?
No, I feel like it's hard up in where we are. We're such a big unit, and we're kind of removed a little bit from. Sorry, this is my dog's just trying to. It must be past her dinner time.
Right
She's
on
trying to
feeding
jump up on my
time.
knee. Yeah. I think it can sometimes be hard for us to relate to smaller courses. But that's something that I really want to develop as well, is go and see other courses, perhaps do some placements at other courses, and like have the experience you've had on smaller courses and stuff, where it may just be a smaller crew, and because before you were talking about fairway mowing, you come in and you check your blades tight, stuff like that. We don't have to do that. We just wash the machine and get off, and we've got 4 mechanics that look after that. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's such a luxury. I go, wow, can you imagine
we
doing
live a
that?
privileged life. I know. I want to go and experience the other side as well. And I think the industry is great, especially in New Zealand and Australia. And in Australia, you're doing phenomenal things. I think it's. I want to inject myself more into the wider industry so I can get that knowledge off people. I think we don't really need to. We're self-sustaining and we're our own little island.
Yeah, yep.
But it's great to go and see other people and talk to other people, and then have that exchange of knowledge. And I think that's what makes this industry special. And I'll go to conferences and I'll hear about all these people that know so and so, and they've been dealing with them, and they help each other out. And like I say, we're an island. We don't have that, but I want that. So that's my challenge to myself, really, is to get out and see how it's done everywhere else, so I can grow.
Yeah.
I don't want to just rest on my laurels and be like, I work at Arai and I know how I can do this and I can do that, but I can only do it here.
Yeah, and look, and there's very much something in that, isn't it? Continuing to grow and learn, become better at what you do, and like you say, I think you don't ever want to rest on your laurels, and I'd hate to think that there's people out there who are passionate about their career as a greenkeeper that would even think that. Well, I don't think anyone would. They'd want to get out there and learn more and keep growing.
No. And stuff like that, John Deere women scholarship that I just saw advertised the other day. I mean, friggin' awesome. And I don't think that's, like that conference that you and I went to in Adelaide was, I think there was a bit of a shift. That conference was, there was a woman in turf focus, and I feel like there's been a shift since then. And the programs that are coming up and now in place or been established since then, to get more women in turf and to mentor them and coach them and grow them specifically is amazing.
Yep. A leg up to just get them into the industry and support them through their early time in their career is a big deal. And I think I
hope a couple of our younger girls get onto that,
Hopefully it's they get this. Look, I think hopefully they get the opportunity potentially to be involved and learn from those initiatives and participate in from time to time, and it'd be great to see more and more women continue to enter our industry and grow within our industry. And I think we more broadly can foster that along the way. I think it's a great opportunity to do so. Anita Mitchell, let me get this right, spray tech and golf course coordinator.
Yeah,
at
that's it.
Arai links, if I've pronounced that correctly. There's a lot there. There's a lot there as an Aussie. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Come over and see us.
Well,
I'd love to show you around.
I've got to get my passport here. I haven't had a passport for God knows how long. I love New Zealand, and John Spraggs was saying the same thing. You got to come over, and I'm a massive fan. But I've never been to the North Island, so maybe I do have to get my shit together. Well,
you
hey,
do.
hang on. There must be some sort of rivalry between the North and South Island. Do you have that over there? Is it like New South Wales and Queensland?
Yeah, definitely.
Because
I'm marrying a South Islander. So let's just say we try not to watch too much rugby games.
There you go. Because the South Island is just a magnificent space. I absolutely love the South Island. Done it twice.
Oh, yeah, it's unreal. Yeah.
And it's incredible. But I've never been to the North Island, and I'm open to learning new things. So maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to get something sorted and make my way over to a bit of a journey.
Yeah, if you like warm climates and beaches, which you clearly do because you're Australian, and good golf, North is good. You don't like warm and beach.
I live in Sydney and I battle. I'm in Sydney on the northern beaches, and it's not. It sounds terrible to say it out loud. I come from the Blue Mountains, where it's cold and beautiful.
Okay, that's why you like the South Island.
It's cold. Hey, I didn't think of that.
Isn't it?
That's probably why, because I love it. We went there and it snowed. It was freezing, and the rivers were freezing, and ice on the sides of the creeks, and I was in heaven. No, it was beautiful.
I tell you, I don't think I could be a greenkeeper at any latitude further south than where we're at. It's like I just can't imagine working in cold mornings.
See,
this is good.
I didn't know that New Zealand's North Island was that far north that it was a warm climate. I say warm loosely. I won't say it's a hot climate. It's not Queensland, but it's like Sydney, isn't it?
I'm going to have to look it up.
I think the latitude is close to Sydney.
Similar, isn't our latitude? No, it's more like Melbourne, isn't it?
Oh,
Let me see.
Thought it was closer.
Okay, so where I am is ACT.
That's Canberra. So that's not far away.
Canberra, but we're coastal. So, but you got to remember where I am is on the skinniest part of the island, in a tiny island itself. But I'm on the skinniest part of that in a great big ocean. The weather here is just variable. The weather, like. If I don't be a greenkeeper, I'm going to be a weather forecaster.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll just park it there. I think we'll park it there, Anita. I think we'll leave that one alone. Anita Mitchell, spray tech and golf course coordinator, Tiara Links. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you on John D. Golf Keeper of the Greens. Thank you so much for jumping on.
It's been fun.
It's been fun, all right. It's been a whirlwind.
It's been a good. I enjoyed talking to you last time, so it's been fun this time.
And you said it wouldn't be a very long chat. Well, it's as good as any of them. So
my dog's telling me I've talked enough. I need to go feed her.
Thank you, Anita. It's been great to have you on. I really appreciate you taking the time, and I look forward to following your career. And hopefully, are you coming to Australia to the conference at all? Do you know?
I don't know if I'm coming to the conference, but
in Melbourne.
We've got our in-person training and for this this course I'm on in March.
Awesome.
So be in Melbourne.
Wonderful stuff. Great. I look forward to catching up in person sometime then.
Yeah.
But great to chat, and thanks so much.
Well, when it snows, you should come over here.
Yeah, that'd be good. Thanks, Anita.
Cheers, Steve.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Anita Mitchell from Arai Links. That was so much fun. That was a great chat. I hope you had a laugh along the way as much as I did. And Anita is just a ball of energy. She is so pumped and proud to be in her role, working in the turf industry. And, it was great to chat with her at length. And hopefully it's an inspirational story to many of you in our industry, in particular the women in the industry that are out there working in as a career, looking to explore where your career can go. Just, it was great to chat with Anita, and I really enjoyed it. Good to get her insights and what she thinks about her place in her career, her place in Arai, what she's getting out of it, where she wants to take her career, and she's just a fantastic human being. So a big thank you to Anita for her time jumping on the podcast and sharing her story with everyone, with all of you out there listening. So I hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it, and I hope you had a good laugh along the way as much as I did as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, now I will say as a footnote, of course, a big thank you to John Deere Golf for their support of Keeper of the Greens. As I mentioned, as we fire up 2026, we've got a massive year planned for Keeper of the Greens, and some incredible interviews and conversations will be coming out of it this year. It's going to be a fantastic year, and I couldn't be more excited. Check out John Deere Golf. Have a look at how they can help you maintain your golf course better with their trusted equipment and their support. So if you want to lift your game through the equipment that they have available, including things like the John Deere Operations Center Pro Golf, that will change the way you manage and maintain your golf course, and their equipment that you can browse through on their website to get more information about. But find out where your local dealer is so you can talk to the professionals and the experts about all of this stuff that's available through John Deere. Check out their website at deere.com.au or click the links in the show notes also to take you to John Deere Golf. Don't forget about the Women in Turf program. Days are counting down. There's not long left before it's January 26 when registrations close for the Women in Turf program that is proudly brought to you by John Deere Golf and, of course, Enview. It's something, if you're slightly interested in taking your career to the next level, go and register. Go and register. You will not be disappointed if you're fortunate enough to be involved with it. So register your interest. Get to the website. The website's on the Enview. The registration form is on the Enview website, envu.com.au. Links are in the show notes, ladies and gentlemen. And this is a program I'm incredibly proud to support. Like, share, and subscribe is the line that lots of podcasters use to help share the podcast around to people. I'll leave you with it once again. You hit them clean, we'll keep them green, and I'll catch up with you very soon. Hey.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I got half a head here. Sort of chopped me off.
A bit weird, yeah. Looks like you've got a halo or something.
Well, see, I this is the technology that I use. I'm in my garage, and you can't see, but I got a light here above me somewhere, and it just does this weird
It's just on your crown, yeah.
It's terrible. How are you? All good. Swearing is okay and optional if you choose, and so and I deal with that on the other side of it, so it won't come out in the pod.
I was going to say you're going to edit it, I guess. If
yes, I will.
Big or something. Which could happen.
I won't say it hasn't happened because it has, but no, all good on my end. If we're all good on your end, we will fire it up. I'll do a pause and a little intro. And then we're just going to have some fun. It's all about having fun and sharing some stories. And all right, I got my questions here. I think I've got everything that I'm good to go. I will pause and we'll get stuck into it. I'll probably up anyway. We'll fix it from there. All good. Ladies and gentlemen, it is yet again another fantastic segment of John Deere Golf Keeper of the Greens, and we are firing up 2026 in one hell of a way, and we're going across the Tasman to New Zealand, where I have joining me, and you know what? I'm going to stop now. I'm hopeless. What's your title, Anita? What's your official role? Should have worked that out. We've got apprentice baker, Anita Mitchell.
Yeah, exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we fire up 2026 with an exciting new segment of John Deere Golf Keeper of the Greens, and I am going across the Tasman to Arai Links for a special conversation with spray. I told you, didn't I? This is going to come out in the bloopers. I'm going to put a bloopers reel at the back of this. This is gold and shit at the same time.
Oh, jeez, you'll get there.
And this might go against the grain of some supers or bosses or whatever, I'm not sure. But my viewpoint is that I've got no idea where I was going there.
Oh my God, I love that. That happens to me a lot, right? But I'll walk into a room and I'll just be like, wait, what the f was I doing? Like what? Like my train of thought just goes, eh?
I was going to say something really enlightening then. I'm pretty sure I was as well. I don't know where I was going. I got to try and pick it back up. But my voice is doing my head in.